This is a complaint for injunctive relief and damages based on defendant's unlawful circumvention and distribution of circumventing devices in violation of Digital Millennium Copyright Act, 17 U.S.C. 1201, computer or violations of the Computer Fraud and Abuse Act. Do you know what that is? So that's when HOTS hacked the PlayStation 3. And they knew that this was going to be like armor versus penetrator war. Thicker armor, better penetrator, better armor, better penetrator, and it goes back and forth, right? The person shooting and the person wearing armor, employing armor. It never ends. You see, and Sony knew that when HOTS hacked them for the third time, second time, third time. As far as that kid was and still is one of my heroes. Because he had something that the insatiable curiosity to address something. Mine is inequality in life. That's basically what I do here. Everyone knows that, okay? I bitch about the things that everyone bitches about. Why? Because I'm normal and I have to encounter them. But when I bought my PlayStation 3, you see, a little freedom window opened up. And that little freedom window really was provided in the end by HOTS. And Sony decided to sue him over it. I thought was a terrified corporation who could have really changed gaming for the better to allow you, do I want to cheat or not? Do I want infinite ammo when the game doesn't allow it? You see, the industry was not terrified about him monitoring or changing their hardware at all. They wanted to remove something I've made 100, 200 videos about, replayability in video games. You see, when I buy a game, I never start on the hardest difficulty, ever. You miss too much. You learn too little. And in the end, you've gotten less out of the game. You went right to 10 and didn't experience 1 through 9. And yes, it's too easy in the beginning, but that's the whole point, is so that you can have fun and explore and learn about the game deeper. This is what I hate about the Call of Duty. Here, let's just drop 100 guys in this area and let them kill one another. Great fucking game, guys. And I like how it changes every year. Not the game, the location. Well, we're going to drop them all here and they can kill each other. And then we're going to drop them here and they can kill each other. And we'll get them addicted to killing each other because they'll get a little shot of whatever it is in their brain, you know what I mean? And they'll just crave it like the most addictive drug. And that's what they have in Call of Duty. That's why the campaigns suck, because they don't put any time, effort into making graphics better, any of that. I remember when it went from Call of Duty 4 was great, then 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, the graphics continually dropped each time. The graphics dropped in fidelity. Until pretty soon, I did a video on the gamers page where I showed an army tank from Call of Duty 3, the side version with the skirt that covers the tracks. Okay, there's a side skirt on most tanks. And I took a picture of that, and then I compared it to 4 Call of Duties ahead. The one that was 4 Call of Duties ahead, you could tell had just been filled with a paint bucket. Click. Because that same exact was used here and here and here and here and here and here and here. Because it was in the guy's toolbox. The Call of Duty 3, the armor or the side of a tank was highly detailed. And it made it look better than a game that 4 games from now would look like shit. See, because they don't want replayability in games. They don't want to make a game that's replayable. They want to make a game that's addictive. Because they find out instead of making great, fantastic games that will make people want to play and pay and buy 20 games a year that are, quadruple A games, No, we're going to make a double A game over and over and over and over and over. And that's the mentality of Sony, Microsoft, EA, all of them. Because they don't want replayability in the game. They want addiction is what they want. Okay? This is why I'll still play Borderlands 1 and I just create new games. Okay, this game I can only use hand grenades and one pistol from one manufacturer. That's it. The whole game. The entire fucking game. It's a challenge. It is a challenge. Especially depending on the manufacturer you pick, okay? Stick with Molly 1. Trust me, all right? But, whatever your style is. HOTS. You see, the first time I plugged in one of these. Know what that is? Huh? Yeah, that's the real deal. This is a Game Genie for PlayStation 3. 50,000 codes in here to allow you to play any of the games, including Borderlands 1. When the PlayStation 4 came out, they said, oh, well, yeah, this won't work on a PlayStation 4. But when we played Borderlands 2, which came out at the same time, what you do is you take this and you put it in your PlayStation 3. And you fill yourself up with all the ammo and money and everything else you need. And then you would upload that character online. Because the people who made Borderlands understood that's what we wanted at the time. But it wasn't intentional. That they didn't say, okay, here we want this to be used this way. Okay? Because then you could go on your PlayStation 4 on the new version of the game that you couldn't use a Game Genie, and you could download that character, and it had all of the characteristics that you wanted. All the money, all the whatever. Okay? Right there. It still works to this day. If you own a PlayStation 4 and a PlayStation 3, you can break so many games that way that allow that character transfer or data transfer. So yeah, there's so much fun in this little hard drive right here. So much fun. Just regular USB-C. Yeah. And you see, once you've played the game on hard, what's left? What's left? How can you recreate a game that, no, we want you to buy Borderlands 2. We don't want you playing Borderlands 1. So they have to find ways to psychologically fuck you up in Borderlands 1. A way of saying, yeah, I'm going to open this chest because I'm running right past it. I'm running right past this chest. Why? Well, they made a shortcut. When you took Tannis a piece, think about this. When you took her a piece of the puzzle and gave it to her, the newest piece, whatever mission you had completed, right? And you give her this piece, she has a shortcut back to where you park your car. Everyone knows that. You can't take that way to get to her. But when you left Tannis's place, okay, you could run the other direction. And there was a chest right there. And you also knew there was a white chest right next, be hidden behind the wall, as if to tempt you behind the wall. But as far as I know of, no one that I know of has ever gotten a gold weapon out of that chest. And you're not going to get a fucking gold weapon out of that chest. And you're not going to get a good blue or anything else out of that chest. What you're going to get is messed with psychologically. Fail, until it didn't take me but about a year. I never checked that box again. I have no fucking idea what's been in there for years. Same thing with the silver one. And every other box that they have, okay, I don't check. There might be 2 because I have found good things in there. And so just out of old time's sake, I'll go check them. But you see, I stopped that behavior. That fucking, what's in here? The pull the slot handle, that the addictive behavior, okay, that people loved in the game. I saw that ruined replayability because they wanted you slowly but surely to start to hate the game because it was so predictable where you would get a reward, where you wouldn't, etc. You see, this is why this was so popular. That's why a Game Genie was so popular, okay? And it put replayability back in the game. Because you were now back in control of the world there. It was no longer the world they created, it was a world you created. Why? Well, now you have all these abilities you didn't have before. You have all this money or all these credits or all these whatever the fuck it is. You have unlimited. Sony and the game makers, they feared that more than anything else. It wasn't about breaking the hardware. It wasn't about overcoming their shit that way. It was about making games basically built to have replayability into them. They eliminated that immediately, okay? That was when they dumped System Link and LAN, because that really helped them so it wasn't a camaraderie thing. Then they started designing games to frustrate you intentionally in certain ways, okay? And then came the, well, you can pay us to pay to play or pay to win or pay to buy this that's going to help you. And microtransactions took over. This was not an accident. This didn't fucking happen by accident. This was a 10-year plan by the gaming industry, okay? To number one, you don't own your console. Otherwise, they wouldn't have been able to sue HOTS. When you buy that PlayStation, you own the little parts and pieces, but when you put it together in a PlayStation, you don't own dick. It's the same with your Xbox and probably all the other digital equipment that you have in your house. You don't own anything. You have a long-term lease, and it says in their EULA, they can shut your fucking box off anytime they want if you do something they don't like. What other product works that way? What other gaming, what other hobby? Name a hobby from bowling, tennis, archery, whatever the fuck you want, okay? Track and field, are you a runner? No other sport is controlled. No other hobby is controlled the way gaming is because we don't have representation. You see, that device should be legal, and I should be able to go buy one for my PS5 if I want. Absolutely. So that I can enjoy the game to its maximum potential. There's no fucking reason whatsoever why I shouldn't be able to do that other than they want you to buy the next version. Now, something horrifying, okay? I made this video in prediction just before the Genie came out. When HOTS was just starting his stuff, I said, pretty soon you'll be able to buy something you just plug right in and then the industry is going to change. I predicted this, and anyone who was on the Gamers channel, remember 15, 18 fucking years ago, I predicted all of this that's happening now. As soon as you're online, you know what? They can turn that server off anytime they want. If you don't want to buy Gran Turismo 7, then we'll just turn the server off for Gran Turismo 6. If you don't want to buy Gran Turismo 6, we'll just turn the server off for Gran Turismo 5. That's what they did. 73% fewer sales in Europe for Gran Turismo 6 than with 5. Why? Because they'd fucked us over with 5. You had the update that wasn't quite a full game, you know what I mean? Because it had been too long and people were starting to switch to Forza, and so they said, well, we better give them something. So they gave us half of Gran Turismo 6, basically, and then took all of our money, all of our cars, everything away from us when we bought the actual Gran Turismo 6 to make us start all over again, and then with fucking microtransactions. That's why it took so long, because they were trying to figure out how to work microtransactions into the game that would make people buy it. And then they started designing the game around that idea. It's fucking horrifying, okay? I don't look at chess, and I have so many exploits for Borderlands to fuck their plan over and make the game work for me that I still play it to this day. Again, I design games that I have rules that you can't break. I also have characters called cheated everything, where I have my other console over here. This setup has its own account. It's not part of the house account. They're not hooked together. They don't even know each other. Okay? Even the way I pay for my yearly and pay for my yearly are different because I do pay cards. And so I can invite this character, give them all the guns that I want, anything that I want to make my character like the shit. And then I do a hard power off on my PlayStation 5 over here. And now this person has everything that I've given them. If they want money, here's a gun for $9,999,000. You just sell that and you're set to play the whole game through the first time without needing money. See, that puts you, now you approach the game in an entirely different manner. You're not having to pick up every single piece of shit. Here's $6. Here's $6. No, you see, when I start a game, if I don't want to cheat that way, okay, if I just want to only use exploits, I go to T-Bone Junction and I go to the 3 crates that are there, and I get enough money cycling through there 7 or 8 times. I get enough money to up all my ammos, have all the money that I need, and then I go start the game, and I'm in God mode. Or I will start a character, level 1 character on the unburnable screen, and then I'll play over here and invite this character over to this person's game, and I'll make this person a level 35. Before they even start the game, they're a level 35. And it's more about God mode, where you'll take your bird, okay, and a pistol. And now you're going to play the game, but your bird is your only weapon. You find out how stupid that fucking bird is if you do this, okay? But I play games where I only can use my superpower to play the game, which means a lot of hiding and avoiding and throwing your weapon. And so if you start the game and I cheat myself to a level 35, my cannon will be a powerful weapon. And I play the whole game with just my special weapon. You see, they never thought anything about that I would do that, to create my own games, because the game feels good, looks good, plays good. You know what I mean? Yeah, I have Call of Duty on there, and all it does when I start to play it is I'm like, what the fuck is it? Oh, here we're going to hang you upside down. Oh, isn't that fun? Oh, yeah. That's a very imaginative way of giving me gameplay. Hang me upside down instead of right side up. Yes, I know up is down and down is up. Duh. Wow. I mean, here, jump from vehicle to vehicle. That's not a fucking shooter game. You see, if they can't make it look better, if they can't make it feel better, right? Then anything goes. And that's what, Happy Days, when Fonzie jumped the shark. Listen, that's why the term. Fucking Borderlands, I mean, I can go to Borderlands 1 and create games that are way more fun than Tiny Tina's Wonderland. And I'm wondering if they do another Borderlands, if they're going to go back to a Borderlands, 2 style or 3 style, right? Something more Borderlands. I hope they do. Or they could go the exact opposite direction. So, yeah, it's hard to find good games. It's hard to have games with replayability. And that's what owning your console was about. So that you could make this game into 1.1, 1.2, 1.3, 1.4, Borderlands 1.5, Borderlands 1.6. And that's why this terrified Sony right here. This is what scared the holy shit out of them, because this allowed me to do exactly that. And they hated it. So they put great efforts into keeping that from happening with the newer consoles. If I could hack my PlayStation 5 right now and just get every car and every track in Gran Turismo without any work, I would have bought Gran Turismo more willingly and with a bigger smile. But see, then there goes all their transaction. There goes the basis for their future businesses. They're also going to be microtransactions. If you think that microtransactions are going away in Gran Turismo anytime in the future, you are a child. You are a child. Okay? Gaming is not about gaming anymore. It's about how do we psychologically addict these people to this action, pulling that fucking slot handle. That's all I see Call of Duty as. I really do. It's just run around, shoot this guy, shoot this guy, shoot this guy, shoot this guy. This guy was standing up. This guy was running left. This guy was running right. There's no fucking difference past that. Oh, wait, this guy was in a window or this guy was in a door. I can't see it. It's the same fucking game over and over and over and over and over, and it doesn't get better. It gets worse. It gets immensely worse because it doesn't feel better, doesn't shoot better, doesn't look better. So what's better about it? Oh, well, there's new microtransactions. You can buy this uniform now to make you look fucking stupid. Game Genie, thank you for all the years of fun that you gave me. Really, thank you. PlayStation 3 with the Game Genie. Man, that's still right now, as far as I'm concerned, the ultimate fucking machine. You got 50,000 cheat codes in there to open the game up to anything you want. You want money, you want points, what do you want? It terrified them because that is replayability right there in a nutshell. Okay? You're not going to be ready for a game ripoff 7 if you have game ripoff 6 completely opened up as a free whatever the hell you want to do world. There's replayability there. They won't want to play the other because now it seems like every time there's a new iteration and a new box, there's a new fight to stop people from breaking into them, and they're getting pretty good at stopping them. They're also getting pretty good at having laws put into place to stop people from doing that. Okay, so which means I don't own that fucking PlayStation. That is Sony's PlayStation sitting right there in my house. It might as well be my fucking modem from my internet company. It is a way to get you here and online. That's why they want to get rid of physical discs. Okay, I don't want to play a game if I can't own the disc. I'm not. If it's a digital only edition, I'm not good. I'm sorry. If it's free, and they want me to download it to my hard drive or put it in my library, I'll do that. But if I'm going to buy a game that I'm going to play, like Gran Turismo, I am going to own it on disc. So sometimes I own both copies. And believe it or not, on this machine, the disc plays differently than the online version. The disc version has more on it. It's weird. And the online version has less fidelity, less color. I mean, it's less in every way. Thank you, Game Genie. I'm probably gonna put that. You know what? I think I'm gonna see what I can get for it on eBay. I bet there are PlayStation 3 owners out there, especially like, people that collect consoles. I bet there's a person out there that would give me some money for that Game Genie right there. Not a scratch on it. Looks brand new. Loved that thing, okay? But I can't use it on my PlayStation 5. I gave my PlayStation 3s away, just like I gave my PlayStation 4s away to people that didn't have one, so they didn't have to buy one. Sometimes I regret that because I'm like, I sure miss playing that game. If I had my PlayStation 4, I could play that game. But no, I believe in sharing the joy. All right. I had to point that out. I was watching an article on HOTS that how Sony, they were scared of that kid because they understood that he was going to open up and make every game, that he was going to quadruple the lifespan of every game by putting the control of who the character was and what they could do back in your hands. And that scared the shit out of them. It really did. Especially if you're going to just produce the same old crappy looking fucking Call of Duty every year. Yeah, that would scare the shit out of you, right? If someone said, "Oh, well, guess what? You plug this into your console and you can have every uniform, every gun, infinite ammo, one-shot kills, watermelon head," right? Remember that one? You see, they just take it's about it is a psychological battle. That's why when I make up these games for Borderlands, there are chests that I check, but there's 25 of them in the room when I check, not one. There's no sense stopping for money because I'll go get money. T-Bone Junction, see? And so I don't waste my time. They don't get to psychologically damage me by having me constantly just, oh, you're on the verge of not having enough money, and then here's your first really good gun, and it's like 8 times the amount of money you've been able to collect. I remember my first experience with that. I remember, what the fuck is this? 25,000? What are they talking about? I got $900. Okay, hey, let me know if you've stuck it out this long. Let me know if you owned a Game Genie, okay?